Before using stepping stones, I think our students were very procedural. They knew how to do things to get the right answer. With stepping stones, a lot of the investigations, a lot of the questions that we're able to pull up, some of the games that we play really let students think more in depth about it. We're able to really focus in on those mathematical practices and hopefully guide our students to become those mathematical thinkers and stray away from just knowing that procedure and trying to get them more of that understanding. And how do you ask those questions? Where are the patterns? How do you figure things out versus that procedure that just gives you the answer? With stepping stones, I think it really lets the student figure out their learning first rather than a teacher showing them how to solve the problems. And so by that, students then take ownership and they're able to have a productive struggle through those questions, through the games, through the investigations, and even through some of the assessments that are on there. You know, those rich tasks and the problem-solving tasks, students have to think about it. It's not just finding that procedure that gives them the answer. A lot of the games and a lot of the investigations also require students to work together and communicate. Then again, you're able to hit those mathematical practices about critiquing others and finding reasoning through each other. I think using stepping stones, one, really helps us understand those content standards. We're understanding what we're asking our students to learn. We're understanding the depth of that standard. Stepping stones also does a great job of helping us to know what students learned in the grade prior and what we're going to be asking in the grade ahead. As with students, I think they're also, again, just getting back at, math is not about that final answer. It's about understanding your problem. It's about making those connections, looking for those patterns. And I think with stepping stones, our kids are starting to understand that process, and it's not a quick end result, but it's rather, how do we think through this and how do we solve it? And it's okay if I make a mistake. Let's go back and look at it again and let's try it again. With stepping stones, one of the best things I think as an educator are those videos, and teachers are able to watch them ahead of time to understand the concepts that we're asking our students to understand. They're able to look at some misconceptions that students may have. One of the other great things about stepping stones, I think, are those investigations. So if a teacher doesn't necessarily know the answer ahead of time and you ask the students to go through it and you have out the manipulatives, students are then free to try to problem solve, and they're able to make sense of those questions and to think about how they might solve it as a mathematician. And then they get to those underlying understandings rather than just saying, what is 7 minus 5? You know, that's that procedure. You've lost all the meaning behind it. So it's getting students and teachers to think a little bit more depth about that content and about what we're asking them to solve as mathematicians.